Is the tent industry cooked? I mean, two-stage versus bottom loading. Forums have become battlegrounds. Let's dive into it. Here's the deal. First off, thank you guys who are listening to this episode or watching it. I know we took a very long hiatus. We've had Dark But Legal for a while now, and that podcast was amazing. All the viewership, all the listeners, we had great numbers. Everybody was very intrigued with every episode. We had a lot of involvement. There was a lot of education and value that came out of each episode, and I can't be more thankful. This is the same feel, but with a different look, a different style, just trying to follow the Geoshield narrative, essentially. So what we've done is we've rebranded Dark But Legal into what we're calling Here's the Deal. Basically, what this involves is just the new structure. Over the past year, we've seen a lot of different changes when it comes to Geoshield and the overall atmosphere. Last year was our very first year with an actual booth, and we exhibited at SEMA. We had the new V2 website launch, which wasn't a rebrand. It was just something that we felt was needed in the company to propel us to that higher level of thinking. And we saw a lot of great commentation on that V2 launch, with the tier dealer system, the dealer journey, creating this amazing academy, and just different things to create launch pads for every single one of our dealers. Whether you're working out of a home garage or you're making $2 million a year, we try to satisfy a need for each person. And that's the reason for Here's the Deal. A place where you can come, whether you're in the tent industry, wrap, PPF, detailing. It's a place that you feel that no matter what episode, you're getting real talk, real experience, real value, and just overall real people with real conversations. We want each guest to feel like it's not just about the topic. It's about each and every one of you who may be listening or watching this podcast. And I can't say again how much I appreciate each and every one of you for being along in the journey with everything that I've tried to do with this podcast. And along with that, going a little more into the academy side of things, we catch a lot of hate sometimes. A lot of different stuff that we post on our social platforms, our YouTube shorts, our little small TikTok videos here and there. We get the same hate. So anybody who's listening who struggles with, maybe I shouldn't post this, or do I even ask this question in one of these forums because of the backlash or comments that you get, I want you to know that even as a company like Geoshield, we get some of those comments too, but we don't let it take away from what we're trying to achieve, which is overall just a community that we want to build inside of this atmosphere. Along with V2 and everything else, we're trying to create avenues for each dealer to have a landing point, essentially. Somewhere that you could come and you feel valued at no matter what stage you are in your journey. First exhibition at SEMA was amazing. It was the time where we showed all of these things basically to the world. We had John over there, Cubby, Burns, Brent, myself, Caden. We even had a dealer, Javon, over there in South Carolina. He was at the booth working. He didn't have to be working, but he came because he knows what Geoshield means and the community and atmosphere that we bring to each and every event that we go to. And SEMA really captivated everything that we were trying to show to every person in this network of people. So really, the thing is with these Facebook groups and these forums that you see online and everything, the big pain that people get is that scarcity of even wanting to ask a question. And to me, that's something that this industry is very volatile on, because each person, whether that's a 30-year veteran, a 5-year tenor, or somebody just starting out, everyone started at the same place. So it's pretty crazy to me how that 30-year vet is going online and saying, this is killing the industry and this shouldn't be happening. And why is everything on social media? And this person on TikTok can't tint windows because they're two-staging and bottom loading is the best and this and that and the fourth. At the end of the day, we are the vessel that creates a new generation of people. It happens in every industry. It doesn't matter if we're bus drivers. It doesn't matter if we're nurse practitioners, dental assistants, teachers, whatever. Every industry has to have new people in order to flourish. And if we don't, then all we're doing is killing the industry that we love so much. And what's crazy to me is some people will watch this and they're going to be that person to leave the hateful comment. They're going to say, I don't believe in anything that you say. Why should we have to do that? I think cell phones are killing the industry. I think this is killing the industry. When in all reality, we should all take a step back and look in that mirror at ourselves and say, are we actually the ones killing this industry that we love so much? Because instead of being the solution to the problem, in all reality, we're becoming the problem and no one is creating the solution, which is why we're trying to create things like the Geoshield Academy and send more information out there into the world, because if we don't, somebody else will. And that's what we don't want to happen, because at the end of the day, regardless or not, like I said, we're the vessel. And if we stop by somebody and they're saying, hey, you know, I need a hand, I need help with this, can I hop onto you guys' vessel? If we float away from them, there's going to be another vessel right behind us. And then we're going to lose out on that opportunity to be able to give them the proper guidance that they need, which is mainly what all of us had at the beginning, was that guidance. Now, I know some of you were trained in a barn by Jethro 30 years ago. There was no technology. There was no nothing. There was only newspapers for information to travel. But what's funny is all of these stories, someone ended up training somebody to do it, whether that was word of mouth, you went to somebody's house or whatever. You want it to better yourself. You want it to create an opportunity for your life. And there was some assistance there. Even if you started doing it on your own, if you could go back in time and there was a way to have some type of formal training or anything, you cannot sit here and tell me that you would not take that opportunity to get some type of formal training in this industry. Now, I understand that social media is new. It's definitely booming right now. There's a lot of things, even with podcasts. I can't teach you how to tint on a podcast, but I could give you so much information just from speaking that it would help some part of the business. And that's what we're trying to create here, is that community, that atmosphere, that feeling of want and need. And it's not to benefit anybody. It's more to excel the industry that we all love so much regardless. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if somebody doesn't do it, someone else will. And would you rather have someone who's brand new in this industry not have any type of training, or not be able to ask questions without the fear of 50 comments saying you should go back to your day job that you hate so much and not do anything with this? Or would you rather an industry that is inviting, an industry that is evolving, an industry that takes you in with open arms and says, hey, we're all the same. We're all here to help each other. How can we help? That's what I think the industry should flip to. How can we help? It's asking the simple questions and giving the best answers. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and say, oh, well, the guy next door is doing $50 jobs or whatever, and he's taking away from my experiences and my customers and my loyalty and all this stuff. Open the door to that conversation. There's a great dealer that Kate and I got to meet on our road to SEMA. His name is Matthew Cordova. He owns the Tint Wizards in Albuquerque. Is it either Albuquerque or Tucson? Not 100% sure. But upon meeting him, we had a conversation, asked him exactly what he does day in, day out. And Matthew had a great story. There was a tint shop that was a couple bays down from his shop. And he received either a phone call or a text message saying, I'm running out of product. I have a really big job right now, and I just need some help. Matthew 100% could have said, you know what? This is a guy, he's taking business from me. I'm not going to help him. I'm literally just going to leave him on red. But instead, Matthew opened the doorway to communication, helped this guy out, and he reaped the benefits of that, because not only did he get to help a fellow tinter out, but now he gets to reap the benefits of maybe he is going to need help someday. Maybe he has a huge job. He doesn't have any employees and he needs a helping hand. Now he has that person that he can turn to who could be that helping hand. If you shun people away, you will never have that helping hand. It's just like the saying, you reap what you sow. That is a huge downfall in this industry and what I see happening right now. More often than not, people just close the doors on any opportunity with anything, when in all reality, there's hundreds of doors that are open and they just need someone to walk inside, greet them, and say, what's going on? How can I help? Is there anything that I can try to fix that maybe all my experience would help you? Now, does the fear of a shop opening right next door come into play? Yes. I mean, it's just like anything in any industry. If you have a successful paint shop and another guy that says he can paint opens up a shop next to yours, yeah, it would be that fear of competition and everything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that competition breeds innovation. And so instead of spending the rest of your time pissed off at that person for doing that, you should be thinking, in what ways can I either foster this relationship and work alongside of this person, or how can I better my business to outperform that person? If there's new people coming into this industry, it shouldn't be a fear-mongering type of thing. It should be more of a, okay, we got this new guy, he may not know everything. He came from such and such academy out of wherever, and he's about to open up shop. I know he's in a 1 mile distance from my shop. Instead of that being a fearful thing, why not just open the door to opportunity? Hey, see that you opened up? We're in the same town. Don't know what film brand you're using or anything, but I just wanted to introduce myself, tell you I've been here for 30-something years. If you ever need anything, I'm right here down the street, And that's the biggest thing, is the community isn't what it used to be. There was a time back in the day where no one knew that you can shrink window film. It's funny. Mr. Bill actually told me this story. Shrinking back windows was not a thing in the very early days of the window film evolution. There was a guy, and I'm pretty sure I'll mess some of these parts up, but in California, I think is where it started. VW bugs. They used to always 2-piece or 3-piece VW bugs. And Mr. Bill had told me through word of mouth that the information had traveled, and this guy in California had ended up shrinking a back glass and successfully tinting a VW bug without splicing anything. When that guy found that out, he had two options, okay? Number one, he could have kept that information to himself for years. Or number two, he could have told somebody else to help them out, and then that person tells somebody else to help them out, and then so on and so forth. After that story, I want you to think to yourself, what option do you think that guy picked? I'm pretty sure he picked option 2. Word of mouth spread. He helped someone out. Someone else helped somebody else out. And it just traveled across the country. That's the mindset that we need to get to. And that's the mindset that 90% of this industry does have. Any tips, any tricks, anything. These events are the biggest. The events are the biggest I don't know in this industry. When it comes to an event, it is bar none one of the craziest split interactions in this industry. You have one side who is, I can't wait for this event. It's going to bring so much publicity. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the most awesome thing. Then you have this side of the industry who absolutely thinks it's the worst thing in the world to ever come about, and they don't ever want to attend any of these things. But then again, they want to be flies on the wall to hear how the event went, and they have the most to say, which is crazy to me, because if you don't want this breed of innovation, but you are the most vocal online, why not just attend one? Why not just see what these events entail before you go making any type of accusation on it? Because you could go to an event and have the time of your life and meet all kind of new people and network and grow your business and see all of these things that are happening in the industry and all of these new people and how much the industry is blowing up. But instead, you want to pigeonhole yourself and just stay in a corner and say, I don't think anybody needs to know how to do any of this because I know how to do all of this, and I want to keep all this money to myself. Guys, there are so many cars coming out and being manufactured today. There is glass everywhere. Anyone can get out there and make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's all about creating that atmosphere for people to want to do that. There are a lot of instances, especially at the Geoshield Academy, where we have students who come in and their testimonials almost bring me to tears because they're living a day-to-day life where they hate their job. They hate their boss. They hate going to work. They're getting their face almost blown up from electrical panels because they're in the plants in Louisiana, and they want to have a better life, so they want to become an entrepreneur. So their research led them to window tint, and they had friends who said, oh man, I would love to get tint, whatever the case may be. And they decided, well, in order to better my life, I'm going to find an avenue to go. And they come through the Geoshield Academy. And that is just one avenue of Geoshield where we create that type of atmosphere to come into a camaraderie where no matter where you're coming from, we want to give you the tools necessary to go to where you want to be. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people need to get in that mindset of, because instead of being so split, we all want the same goal, but nobody actually wants to get there, or no one knows how to get there. So we're trying to be the voices for everyone and saying, we can point you in the direction, but it's on us to be that humanity and say, okay, this is a person just like me. You know, I started in the cornfields of Iowa with nothing. I just needed to do something better for my family. These people are all the same. So instead of shunning them or shutting them down on forums, on social media, on TikTok, just trash talking and bringing them down and taking their character straight to zero, embrace them with open arms. See what type of person they are. Because at the end of the day, the reason they still post and all that is because they know they're getting comments from certain people, and it's just driving engagement and it's driving their business instead of you focusing on what really matters, which is your business and your personality and how people perceive you. Because if you don't want to be perceived as the person who always brings hate, then why don't you breed that innovation in yourself and just bring the people together? all this hate speech and everything. It's not a good look for the industry. Because the other thing, if you go to events like SEMA or any car shows or anything, really done up vehicles, you'll see they'll have a plaque that sits in front of their car and it says paintwork by such and such, interior by such and such, stereo, audio by such and such. But what do you never see? You never, ever see window tint done by such and such shop. And I think that's because this industry is so involved in itself that we can't break out through our own shell. If you want to be put out there into the world, you have to set things in place that burst that bubble. Right now, the industry is at a ceiling. It is at a turning point, and it's either going to go one of two ways. Either we're going to go 500 steps backwards into the past, or we can bust through that ceiling by working together and creating different avenues for each person to come into and bring this place where we want it to go. The industry is giant. The industry isn't just tint. The industry is everything. It involves all of us. Whether you're a brand, whether you're a rep, whether you're a successful shop, whether you're a mobile tinter, whether you work out of a shed in the back of your yard, we all have the same goal, which is what's funny because we all know that we have the same goal. But some of us want to reach that goal and higher, and some of us just don't. We want to sit there in our little crab shells and say, oh, it's so scary. We have 500 new people and they don't know what they're doing. You can't have that mentality when you're trying to bust through the ceiling. Because I do know older tinters who get mad when they go to cruising the coast and they tinted that 67 Chevelle, but they see this person did all this work, but they never see themselves. Hey man, why you didn't put my tint shop did your tint? And it's because you also want the same things as everyone else, but you're not doing things to help the situation. All you're doing is creating more problems instead of trying to act like the solution that you know that this industry needs. This industry needs things like the Academy. It needs things like social media. It needs things like people on YouTube helping grow this industry. If you want the exposure, then be the solution to the exposure. Don't be the pain point that creates the non-exposure want in this thing. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. And that's why we create different things in Geoshield. We have the Discord channel where people can come in and it's not just another Facebook group. The Discord is a centralized place where you can get any information. You can ask questions on the forum. You can go in there as a dealer and be set in your certain tier where you're talking to other like-minded people. You can go in there as an Academy alumni and speak to only other Academy alumni, and then also have all the Geoshield team right there at your fingertips. It's that energy in there that just breeds the innovation, because all of these new guys, they don't need a handheld. They don't need this and that. Some of them need certain things, but you have to create environments that help with those certain needs and wants. And along with that, the dealer journey, the different resources that we're adding to be impactful to these businesses. We know that every business is at a different stage in its life cycle. Like I said, whether you're a guy with a shed in his backyard or you're a fully flushed out $2 million shop, 6 employees, a front desk receptionist, a social media girl, whatever the case may be, we have avenues as Geoshield to point you in directions to speak to other like-minded people. And I think that that is what the industry really needs to get to, is that camaraderie. When we were at Tinter Battles in 2025 or 2026, whenever it was, if you noticed, if you were at that event, Autobahn, Geoshield, Expel, Solar Guard, Solar Effects, we were literally within spitting distance of each other. Now, once again, it could have went one of two ways. We could have either tried selling all of our products and just bumping into each other saying, my product's better than their product, or their product's better than this product, and whatever the case may be. But instead, we were all having fun with each other. We were laughing and joking because we all knew we were there for the same end goal, which is to get that brand recognition out there, but also show people what we do as a company. And what's funny is David Kratz with Autobahn was asking us, hey, you guys hungry? You guys thirsty or whatever? Was getting us drinks, was getting us food. He was sharing everything with us because that's what this industry is about. It's about sharing everything with each other. If not, then this industry goes nowhere. This industry is stuck in the past. It's just like the people who want to stay stuck in the 90s. Oh, I miss the 90s. I miss the early 2000s. I miss the nostalgia. I miss this. I miss that. If everyone was stuck in that mentality, we wouldn't have what we have today. We wouldn't have the internet access at our fingertips. We wouldn't have podcasts. We wouldn't have exposure like we have it today. And I think that is the biggest thing that is missing. Even if it isn't immediately resourceful or benefiting you and your business, take time to understand the impact and the legitimacy that things like this bring to the industry. Listen to stuff like this podcast. Watch stuff like TikToks and social media, reels on Facebook, Instagram. And instead of just immediately going to the hate, take a second, take all the information in, and say to yourself, when you care about the journey and the destination, it becomes bigger than any of us can ever dream up. But we have to get to that point somehow. We have to get to knowing that the ceiling is here, and how do we help each other burst through that ceiling? Because we're at it, boys. We're at that ceiling. And the only way to break through it is with each other. And I think that we are creating solutions to bust through that ceiling. We have an amazing academy. We graduated this year alone over 35 students in PPF and Tint. And most of them have went on to create successful businesses to get away from their day-to-day jobs. We have testimonials on all of our social media platforms and interviews with each one of these guys saying that this was the best week of their life. Now, are we saying that in 5 days we're giving them every single tool to go out there and make $1 million in a year? No. But that's not what we categorize this as. We categorize this as a place where you can come and spend 5 days with Geoshield learning about everything that we do. We teach you every fundamental that you need to go home and complete a successful tint job. You leave here with all the tools necessary to open and start that business. But then again, you also get things such as the media, the interactions, the networking, the camaraderie that comes with this industry. We show you as Geoshield what it means to be in this industry. Everyone that leaves here talks about how much they loved meeting Shep. They loved seeing Caden run around with a camera. They loved going to Topgolf day one and just having fun and seeing what this industry can bring. But once they leave from this place, they go to post on a forum or they go to post on this YouTube video, and the first thing that they get is a negative comment, and all that does is bring their motivation from 150 down to 0. And that's not what should happen. At the end of the day, this industry needs to breed innovation. It needs to bring businesses closer together. It needs to be these events where we network and we talk to each other and we laugh and we joke and we say, I haven't seen you since the last event. How's everything been going? But instead, it's split. It's split, just like two staging and bottom loading. And that's the simplicity of it. This industry needs to be brought together, and we're trying to bring it together. And if you have any comments that you would love to leave, if you have anything that you want to hear about in any of these podcasts going forward. Or if you have anyone of interest who you think would be the perfect person to sit at the end of this table and have those friendly debates and have comments on different topics and different things, I would love to hear those comments. And bringing it full circle, I think this industry is going in a very good direction. It just takes all of us as one big family and one big unit to be the vessel for these new generation of tinters. Because without them, this industry goes nowhere. Because one day, all of you guys who are complaining are going to be old and you're not going to be able to do this anymore. So what really matters is the new generation of tinters coming in and how much we help them. So I'm going to leave you with that. One big mission statement: create the innovation and let the industry break through the ceiling. I appreciate everyone who has listened to this podcast, and I hope that everyone sees the new value and the new direction with Here's the Deal, coming from Dark But Legal, where we're going now, and how this podcast can be that one vessel or one cog in a machine that we are creating. I hope this tool becomes a helpful resource for anyone out there. And I hope every episode adds some type of value or education, or one snippet may speak to you more than anything. That is what I'm trying to create with Here's the Deal. And after all of this, I hope each and every one of you takes something away from this podcast that gives you that edge of, I want to help with this industry. I want to help be that person, because we are at a ceiling and it's going to take us to break through it. And that is the deal.